Hi, so today I'd like to talk about cast-ons for provisional cast-ons on a spare cable so that when you knit your project and you keep your stitches in the spare cable and you need to come and reconnect, you have every stitch already on the cable and you don't need to fuss about picking them up or trying to figure out where the stitches are. The technique I'm going to do right now, it's called the Turkish cast-on, or I call it the wraparound, just an easy way for me to remember. And it's a very, very easy cast-on to do. It's great for toe-up socks, or if you need a provisional cast-on, or if you need an invisible cast-on. It's a great cast-on. It's a little bit on the loose side, and the more stitches you add, the trickier it can get to be. But it is an amazing cast-on too, especially for beginners who struggle with toe-up socks or invisible cast-ons or provisional cast-ons. So anyway, we need two cables, one which has two needles on either end, and one which will have an end stopper on the other side, just so that the needles don't fall out. The one with the end stopper can be shorter because that's the one that's going to be holding your provisional stitches, your spare stitches, and that needle is going to be on the bottom, on the lower part, and your working needle is on the top. And we're going to start by doing a slip knot, and we're going to put that on the needle on the bottom. Okay, here we go. So once I've got that, I'm ready to start. I'm just going to hold my tail yarn with my needles with my left hand so that it's out of the way and I don't start using it accidentally. And basically I just wrap my stitches around my needle, starting from the back towards the front. So I do one, that would be considered one stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's say I needed to cast on 14 stitches. I'm just going to pull my bottom needle through because I want to leave the stitches on my cable there for later use. So there they are, they're hanging out there. And I'm just going to make sure that I keep my working yarn wrapped under that cable because I don't want to lose that stitch. It has to stay in there. And then I'm going to take my needle from my working needles and I'm just going to start knitting or purling or whatever the pattern is asking for. So I'll just start knitting, and I'm going to show you what could possibly go wrong with this cast on, or what the problems with this cast on are. So as you're knitting along, it's very easy, it's loose, it's not your usual struggle to get through that first row. But the problem might be sometimes people pull this really tight or really long, and then you end up with really loosey-goosey stitches. So notice how the gap is getting longer and it gets really messy. So the trick for that is try and keep your tips close to each other. Try not to split them up far away. You want to try and work with the tips as close as possible to each other so that you don't create that extra looseness or gap there. And so you just knit, and you can knit obviously both continental. You just go ahead and knit those stitches. When you're done, you should have the same number of stitches on top as you do on the bottom. This slip knot does not count. That you can take off when you come to work here. So let's say if I was working on socks toe up, I would at this point want to turn around and I'd be working on the same needle. I'd turn around and I would want to start working with these stitches right here. So I could pull this knot away now and just knit across these stitches and then just continue working in a circular fashion, just trying to create that toe part. If I was doing a sweater and I needed to hold these on a provisional needle so that I could work the body and then come back and finish the neck, then I would just continue working on my needle, do all the work I need to do, and then when I came to this part, I would just drop my slip knot. But that's pretty much it.